Welcome to Out to Lunch on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I will be taking you through your lunchtime break. If you've already started your lunchtime break, congratulations on getting ahead of the rest of us. But here we are in Out to Lunch on WRMN. For the next 2 hours, I will be your companion for conversation. That's right, on Out to Lunch, we talk about different topics that are here. We talk about topics that are important to you. We bring on people that will bring up those topics. As some people say, the water cooler wars. I don't think it should be a war. I think it should be a conversation. So let's have those conversations. Let's bring those topics to light. And let's just see how everybody feels. We've got to have free speech out here in the world, and the best way to have free speech is to have an open forum for free speech. And that's it, Out to Lunch. So take WRMN out to lunch with you. There's a plethora of ways to do such. You can be listening on the AM dial. That's 1410. You spin it through, you turn it, you make sure the dial lines up right there, the needle right there on the 1410 side of it. Or you can be listening on the internet. There's a few different ways to do that. Tell your smart speaker, hey, smart speaker, listen to WRMN. It'll surely play it for you. The other way to do it is to go to WRMN1410.com. Maybe you're having a lunch at Cafe Desk. And we've had that before. We've all had that before. Heck, sometime I have lunch here at the Cafe Studio. So that is a thing to go ahead and do. You go ahead and pull up WRMN1410.com. If you've got one of those smart devices, those libraries of Alexandria right there in your pocket, your telecommunication devices, you can also tell that smart speaker to play WRMN, or again, you can go to that same website, or you can download a few apps. The TuneIn app is the one I recommend if you are a radio head like me and just love listening to radio. You can find WRMN there. Or WRMN has their very own app as well. So if you love WRMN, go ahead and get that app, because from the app, you can get to yet the last way. I mean, I guess physically you can come down to 14 Douglas and wave at me, or go over to the Redemption Center and do that. You can actually hear my voice through the propagation of sound through the air. But the way that you can go to as well is the YouTube app. There's a link on the app that we have for WRMN. If you go to YouTube and look for WRMN Radio, or just put in WRMN, you will see that stream right there. Why should you see that stream? Why should you hang out with us? Not because I'm going to spend 4 minutes telling you how we can get to it, but because we've got some of the greatest guests on here. In fact, today we will be speaking with State Representative Anna Moeller. State Representative Anna Moeller is the state representative of Illinois' 43rd District and has been a member of the Illinois House of Representatives since March 2014. She serves as the chairwoman of the Human Services Committee, vice chair of Human Services, Appropriations Committee, and is a member of the Public Utilities, Energy, and Environmental Education, K through 12 licensing and charter school and healthcare licensing committees. My goodness, she's great. She's also serves as a bipartisan commission on the government forecasting accountability. All kinds of great things on the Green Caucus as well. So if you want to know somebody who is on that progressive side that wants to push the world forward, we will talk with her today. I hope to get in on a couple of these House bills. You know how I like to get in the weeds with some of this politicking type of things. And I want to talk a little bit of some things that are important to you all. And I'm going to try to bring up House Bill 4677, which is the Senior Services Care Portal. There will be a Caregiver Assistance and Resource Portal Act creates a one-stop shop for all the resources in the Illinois caregiving information side of it. So we'll talk a little bit about House Bill 4677. Along with that, in that same senior side, we've got House Bill 4431. And 4431 was the House bill that intends to rectify some of the things that older Illinois drivers are experiencing. Illinois right now mandates drivers 89 to 80 to take a road exam every 4 years that the renewal is up. For drivers ages 81 to 86, it's every 2 years. And for those 87 and older, it's yearly. So some people end up calling this ageist because of that, not just because of the assumed disability that people have. You turn around and you just assume things based off of the age of a person. I mean, until we get bionic eyes that we can go and buy from the store, I guess that's something that people are just going to assume as they go. LASIK is out there, so you never know who's got good eyes, who doesn't. And let's see here. I think it's Ketcher of Sycamore, Keicher, intends to meet at the Secretaries of State office and senior organizations over the summer to tweak the bill, and that is Bill 4431. So this is the example that they're putting together. For example, anyone facing renewals could be asked to take an online questionnaire requiring yes or no answers to questions that about previous accidents or tickets, physical conditions affecting safe operation of a vehicle, and diagnosis of mental capacity issues such as dementia or stroke. So what I guess they're suggesting is that people voluntarily give up this information in a questionnaire. Of course, by all means, you put it under perjury and et cetera, et cetera. But it still seems to be voluntary. So we'll see if there's a solution. Like always, why look for a solution if there's a problem? And the problem is, you start from the problem from it. And the problem is that seniors feel that this is age discrimination, which honestly, they have a pretty good case to say such. The other thing I want to talk about with her being Anna Mueller, the state representative, would be House Bill 5395, which is the Healthcare Protection Act. This reform includes several key measures, bans prior authorization, inpatient mental care, and goes into a few other things as far as healthcare here in Illinois. It's going to be great. It's going to be a full day full of awesome things that are there. One thing I do want to jump into is yesterday we had a show about misconceptions. It was really neat that we had on there. And by all means, anytime you want to shoot us a note, that would be info@wrmn1410.com. And these are notes that actually go directly to Dean and I. We're the only ones that get info. After that, we then send it out as it needs to go. That way, if you do have something that you would like us to directly know, we will absolutely have a spot there for you. One of them came in yesterday. This is Mary from Dundee, writes, "Hey, Sonar. Wow, I absolutely love the topic on common misconceptions. The knuckle cracking myth has been one of those things that's always bugged me. My mom used to tell me I'd get arthritis if I'd kept doing it, but now I know it's just gas bubbles popping. Isn't it crazy how these myths stick around? Do you have any more health-related myths lined up for discussion? I'd love to hear more." That's a really cool topic. We may bring in a doctor and talk about health myths. Thank you, Mary from Dundee, for putting that into us. That may be a topic that we bring in. Let's see if we can find a doctor or even a holistic medicine person of anybody who knows wives' tales and ginkgo biloba and drinking this tea or or drinking an apple cider shot before you do this and over there. There's got to be some of that in there. So again, later on in the show today, if you want to send us a message, if you like something that we do, you like something we don't do, or don't like a thing that we do, like to not like the thing. Either way, if you've got a comment, a question about WRMN, any of the guests, if there's a link that we can get you, hey, you talked about this subject, we kind of missed it. Send anything that you like over to info@WRMN1410.com, and we will get that. Thank you, Mary from Dundee, again for popping that in there. Cracking your knuckles. I do that. I crack my knuckles a lot. And I pop. Like I'm at that. I ask people sometimes, what's your good knee? I can tell you're over the age of 35 by that question, right? Which one is your good knee? If you have a good knee, you are up there. So I'm starting to feel it too. I know I'm not up there as much as everybody else is, but you know what? Represent as much as we can. All of those people without good knees. So anyway, we're going to hit a commercial break for just a little bit. At the bottom of the hour, again, we've got Representative Mueller coming in to talk a little bit about some of the bills that she's been working on, some of the committees that she's been here, and she is all over Elgin. So we're going to play a game of Where's Anna and see all of the different places that she's been to. Stick tuned, out to lunch, right here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410. WRMN1410.com. We'll be right back after these.
As grocery prices rise, take your family out to any of the Tommy's Red Hots location for great food at unbelievably low prices. There's 6 locations to serve you for both dine-in or carry-out. Tommy's has a diverse, delicious menu for you and your family, with crispy pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and their famous hot dogs, plus so much more. Don't forget their scrumptious sides like mac and cheese bites. To see their menu and locations, visit Tommy'sRedHots.com today.
WRMN says thank you to all of our local veterans, like Jerry Christofferson of True Patriots Care.
We had the 1,700 flags up across from the wall. That's how many POWs and MIAs from Vietnam are still missing. Plus, we do veterans and first responders funerals.
Yeah.
And so if you ever drive by a funeral home or a church or a cemetery and you see the flags, you know a soldier died today.
Go to TruePatriotsCare.com for more information. And veterans, thank you for your service to our country.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast to Coast right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
The word is out. Nissans cost less on Route 19, but that's not all. Parts, service, and body shop, they all cost less at McGrath Nissan. Used cars too. The reason why is how hard we try. Right now, get 0% APR financing on select new Nissan models at McGrath Nissan because
Nissans cost less on Route 19.
Come to Elgin.
See what we mean.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. No matter the time of the day, WRMN 1410 AM is your platform to voice your views, share your stories, and connect with the Valley like never before. We're more than just radio. We're a community conversation that's always live, always local, and always looking for your input. Want to chime in on the drive time deal with Matt McNeil? Got a hot tip for first shift with Marky B? Or maybe you've got a question for a one-on-one with Leah. Now's the time to make your voice heard by calling Studio 14 at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. You can join in the dialogue from wherever you are by commenting on our YouTube live streams at WRMN Radio. Hit the subscribe button to get notified when we go live and bring your comments to the table. It's easy, it's fun, and hey, it's what neighbors do. We talk, we listen, we engage. You're not just the audience, you're part of the show. Call in, comment, and let's make radio interactive. WRMN 1410 AM, where your words are part of our wavelength.
For a little lighthearted lawlessness on Sunday afternoons, listen to Handle on the Law from 4 to 7 p.m. Handle on the Law is a unique combination of useful legal advice and outrageous Handle remarks. Whether you're talking about Big Brother, big business, big legal problems, or Big Macs, you'll rarely find Bill without an opinion. His rapid-fire commentary gives listeners the information they crave in the way they crave it. It's Handle on the Law, Sunday afternoons from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch. WRMN 1410. Always out to lunch here. At least I am. All over the place. You ever have one of those days and you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm here, I'm there, I'm all over I'm just out to lunch. It's crazy. That's part of this show. The show to continuously provide a conversation. Like right now, I've got a caller right on the line. We can bring them right over, ask them what they want to talk about, and we can continue the conversation as it goes. Later on today, at the bottom of the hour, we will have Ann Moeller, State Representative Anna Moeller. And to kick off the conversation right now, that would be Cleveland Dennis. Hello, Cleveland Dennis. Thanks for calling. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thank you. You know, sometimes because I can't catch all the shows, so I decided to watch them on YouTube. I thought I was listening to Marky B, trying to call him, but I got you. But that's okay.
You're traveling through time, Dennis. You're a time traveler, sir.
Listen, like you wouldn't believe, you know. I work late night with China. Last night, not so much because we went by the Moose Club. But
how is that? How's it over there at the Moose Club?
Oh, it's ideal for me.
Yeah?
I tell you.
What do you guys end up doing over there? You can play some cards and fellowship a little bit?
Yeah, not so many of the cards. You know, you can do the Queen of Hearts and
oh, okay.
Buy some tickets, game a chance right there. But no, I have some friends, and my granddaughter took my great-grandson, and he got to play in the playroom, and it was Taco Tuesday. And
wait, you're telling me the Moose has a playroom?
Oh yeah.
Oh, get out of town now! I gotta go over there.
Right, I'm telling you, it's just ideal. There's a lot of things, and you know, it's a great facility, and I'm promoting. But I was looking for Marky B. He had a call this morning from James, and I wanted to talk to him, but I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, did you start at 12 today or 10 after, whenever you start?
We usually start at 6 after. I think today I started at 7 after. We were finishing up a recording right on the button, so I needed an extra 60 seconds in the world. But most of the time, our clock, the clock for the show has us starting the show at 6 after. So.
Yeah, well, just trying to keep up with the schedule, and I pick up Mark on the YouTube off the computer, and then I got the Alexa plus my phone. I don't know.
You're just immersed in WRMN. Well, we're sitting at 26 after the hour right now, buddy. Let me just put you back in.
All right, that's all I got.
Thanks, Dennis.
Good for now.
Hey, I hope you get back on track.
I'm there now, man.
There he is.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Out to lunch is all kinds of different things. And just like Dennis was talking about, there's a bunch of different ways to jump into WRMN. We get a lot of content, push a lot of content out. And if there's a show that you like and you're just like, you know what, I only have 2 hours to give to WRMN or 2 hours for my news or an interview or something like that, if you go to WRMN Radio on your YouTube side, soon you'll be able to just go to WRMN1410.com and see all of the individual production that we've got there. But for right now, everything lives on YouTube. So you can go over to the YouTube side and rewatch anything that you might have missed. If you are like Dennis and have a different morning schedule than the rest of us, maybe like now, morning for him starts at noon. That is perfectly okay. You can watch the morning show right from the YouTube side of it. Just go ahead and rewatch, kick it back over, go and watch First Shift with Marky B. Catch up with all of the events that are coming over here. If we've got an interview, like Leah does some great interviews with the Children's Theater of Elgin, or I do an interview with a political figure here every once in a while, or DNA, the Downtown Neighborhood Association, the Chamber of Commerce. We've talked with leaders over in not just Elgin, but over in Aurora as well, in Huntley. We've got a whole bunch of different people that we bring over. And if you want to know what's happening in the Fox River Valley, you can go ahead and go to WRMN1410.com to see our website, but also for the content, you can watch it right there. If you're ever confused like Dennis of what time it is and what's going on, AM, the 1410 dial, is live 24/7, has something pushing, something going on, ready to go. Now, we may not be on, it may not be a live program, but the AM dial is pushing, and if there is an emergency, we will make sure to butt into our signal and give you that message. That's the beauty of us independent radio stations, is we have the ability to post a 24-hour watch that in case anything happens, we can always butt into our own system and take over the broadcasting. So it's pretty neat the way that we're going. Let's do a few more announcements while we're sitting here. We're waiting on State Representative Ann Mueller to come over here. We've got the Charles Theater, the St. Charles Theater. Sorry. Let me read them all these words in order. Moonlight Theater in St. Charles. How about that? The history of what is now the Moonlight Theater, located in downtown St. Charles, Illinois, has its roots in vaudeville and silent movies. Built in the 1900s, the Idle Hour Theater was known in its early years solely for its live vaudeville entertainment, which steamed from various shows from both traveling and local groups. I don't think you know that. Through this area, there were a lot of traveling shows that came through this side of Illinois on their way to the city. And they would stop here on their way so that they could regroup, gather the supplies that may have been a bit more expensive as you got closer to the city. Because even then, yes, we can all hop in the car right now and drive 60, 70 miles an hour, please, down to the city right now, and you're there. You can't take a Carnival and a vaudeville and everything else 60 miles an hour down the road. No, thank you. You're going to walk. It's going to take you a day or so. So it's really neat how that vaudeville side and those silent movies kind of traveled. It's kind of like the Odeons, the Nickelodeon, as it goes from there. We've got tickets right here. Elvis, Neil Diamond, and Murder on the Orient Express. That's the one I want to go to. I want to check out that one. Just $20 for a pair. Pricing valid today. Yeah, today only. So you can get that right now by calling into the Redemption Center. That's 847-741-7700. And Matt McNeil, the radio shopping concierge, will be able to help you with that. Let's see who we've got here on the line as well. Hello, caller. Welcome to WRMN. How can I help you? Nope. It was a blank caller. Misdial, must have been a pocket dial, as they say. I used to call it the butt dial, but I guess some people get offended for that. I apologize for anybody who got offended by me saying butt dial. I'll stop saying butt dial. Now in the Rouse Center for Arts, Tripleberry Cafe in Crystal Lake, $15 value for $6. Vine and Plate in Crystal Lake, $20 gift certificate for $8. This is really cool with these pairings, and that's what I mean about the radio shopping concierge. If you give Matt McNeil a call right now, he's not on the air. He's talking to anybody who comes in. He knows this inventory forward and backward. The process is Leah goes out, finds us the greatest deals at the greatest prices from the greatest customers and the greatest companies, right? Goes in, finds it for us. Then Matt McNeil and Leah kind of put together, okay, what can we do for some of these things here? This is over there. This is how many we got. They go through the whole inventory, and then we send them out and just carnival bark, and we let Matt McNeil put together some of these great packages. So if you're looking at going to the Moonlight Theater, say, look, I don't want to just go to the Moonlight Theater. I want to take the boss lady out to an actually good time. Like, we're going to go. We're going to see the Murder on Orient Express. We're going to get a pair of tickets. I want to take her out. I want to go to a nice place. He'll turn around and say, oh, well, I'll tell you what, in Vine and Plate over here. Oh, if you live in this area, maybe you go to dinner first and then drive to the movie, or what do you do? He knows the area and the locations of all of these gift certificates. So you can turn around and say, hey, I plan on spending a day in Elgin. What can I do for $20? He turns around and says, well, here are the 3 different things that you can do. This will give you this, that'll give you that stuff, and blah, 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 as it goes. So the radio shopping concierge that is Matt McNeil will absolutely help you out with these packages. And we're introducing the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles with $20 pair of tickets to go see Elvis, Neil Diamond, or Murder on the Orient Express, which I think was cool. I kind of like a murder mystery type of situation, and it's great. It's great to talk with Matt McNeil about it because, like I said, he'll be able to put you through there. So now that I hyped him up enough, here's his number: 847-741-7700. And I'll give it to you again. I'll wait for you to get a pen and paper, or if you're driving, I'll help you commit it to memory. 847-741-7700. 847-741-7700. Introducing that Moonlight Theater in St. Charles. Get a pair of tickets for just $20 and call Matt McNeil right now in the Redemption Center, or come down. 16 Douglas, we're the evens. On the other side of the world is the odds. Go over to the shawarma stop. Grand opening. Still happening. Go and check it out. Good stuff as it goes through there. More out to lunch as we go through this hour. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. Find more about me at Sonic Engineer. Send any of your comments or questions to info@WRMN1410.com. We'll be right back after these.
Batteries Plus Bulbs is more than batteries and bulbs. It's your repair shop for Apple devices, Samsung Galaxy devices, and more. Located on Randall Road, just south of 20 in Elgin, Batteries Plus Bulbs fills all your battery and light bulb needs in one stop. They have the largest selection of batteries for ATVs, cameras, phones, laptops, scooters, cars and homes, and everything else. Looking to save money with energy-efficient LED or holiday lighting? Stop in at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Elgin. Go to batteriesplus.com for special offers.
A recent Gallup poll indicated that 38% of Americans are putting off health care because of financial concerns, the highest ever recorded. I'm Dr. Bob Martin, here to serve you every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4. Millions of Americans are seeking health advice that will not cost an arm and a leg, so I offer health tips and advice absolutely free. Listen to my show, Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4 right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM, the voice of the Valley and the home of Radio Shopping Show.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. And the money you've paid, it goes right into the hands of criminals and may support child labor, drugs, and even gangs. Smells like big crime to me. So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again. And remember, if you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart, buy smart. Go for real. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org. This message is brought to you by the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Is it noon already? Take your lunch hour up a notch with Out to Lunch from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on WRMN 1410 a.m. Unwind with the perfect blend of soothing sounds and lighthearted conversations that'll make every bite taste better. Whether you're in office or out on the town, let us serve up the best in radio company. Stream on the go with our app on Google and Apple. Because lunchtime is your time. Out to Lunch every day from 12 to 2 on WRMN 1410 AM, the talk of the town.
From morning coffee to your evening commute, WRMN 1410 AM is here for you, the faithful friend that brings you local news, timely topics, and the friendliest voices in the Valley. Stay informed, entertained, and engaged with our full lineup of shows, streaming all day, every day at WRMN1410.com or on the WRMN app. Wherever you are, we're right there with you. So why switch stations? Stick with the one that has it all. WRMN 1410 AM, your daily companion, your constant conversation.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch. Those of you over on the YouTube side, you can go ahead and jump into that chat. Brendan already has. Brendan went and told us his favorite team is the Kane County Cougars. I don't know. You're going up against my Chicago Dogs, buddy. Brendan also says, hey, WRMN listeners, I'm Brendan. Sure is. That's Brendan right there. Give him a shout out right there on the YouTube chat. Where can you find the YouTube chat? Well, it's on YouTube, youtube.com. While you're in the YouTube side, you can go to the search, put in WRMN Radio will specifically take you over there. Or go to, you ready? Here it is. I know for those of you playing at home, here it is, www.youtube.com/@ WRMN Radio. I hope everybody is enjoying some of today, some of the great weather. It's not the perfect stuff that's out there, but it's still a good day to get out, still a good day to enjoy some of that summer vacation. I know it's not summer yet, but my kids are already off. They're not off of school. We still teach them at the house. I still make them do their book learning and reading and things like that. Ollie usually puts down, it isn't anything crazy. She'll be 9 in September, but she loves reading, I think it's the Magic Treehouse books. And she'll put down, I think, one of those a week. It's 20, 30 pages. It's not anything crazy, but you got to put it in there. You got to expose your children to things that will help them later on in life. The biggest thing is a child going to be a reader or enjoy reading is if the parents read as well. I try as hard as I can to read a little bit more fiction, but my life is with the news side of it and the media side of it is a lot of what I read is nonfiction. So it's kind of hard to enjoy some of that with the kids. So what I do is I try to encourage them to read along, or at least beside me as we're reading. We kind of read our own things. I read a lot of the news side. Going into the other thing is a lot of times I can't read like a House bill to them. I can't read a transcript for a court case with them as well. But we do get some reading in, so it's always good to encourage that young. We are waiting for, here she is. We are going to have Ann Muller. Anna Muller is the state representative here for District 43. We're going to hit a quick break real quick and then bring her right over and talk a little bit about some of those House bills. Like I was saying, my kids don't necessarily like listening to me read House bills or transcripts. So we try to get them encouraged with their own Kindle and things like that. What are your kids doing for the summer? How are you keeping them active? We want to make sure that we don't get that summer drop in education. Coming right up, Anna Muller, State Representative, 43rd, right here. WRMN Out to Lunch. We'll be right back after these. Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus is intent in their commitment to open doors and support those who strive for excellence. Too many people have been made to feel that higher education isn't a place for them, that it is someone else's dream. But Columbia College of Missouri has changed all that. With individualized attention and ongoing support, Columbia College knows a future built by you is a future built for you. Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus, your new starts now. Visit ccis.edu.
America's Best Restaurants travels the country and features restaurants that you should visit each week. Recently, the cast and crew made their way to Renata's German Restaurant in Hanover Park. Renata serves old family recipes and delicious German-influenced food. Renata's also specializes in a wide variety of traditional German baked goods, too. So, if you've yet to visit Renata's, try America's Best Restaurants choice. Drop in soon for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Visit renatasgermanrestaurant.com.
Anderson Japanese Gardens, ranked the highest quality Japanese garden in North America and located right in the heart of Rockford. Their mission is to open minds to a different culture while offering a place of peace and tranquility where one can find healing, renewal, inspiration, and a re-energized soul. A premier destination for corporate functions, special events, weddings, and receptions. For directions, hours, and fees, visit andersongarden.org today.
Theriault Booth, a leading local law firm, is located on the beautiful Fox River in downtown St. Charles. Here's Ryan Theriault.
For better or worse, there are just times people need a lawyer. Whether you are involved in a work injury, in an automobile crash, selling a home, or even planning for your estate after your passing, we're here. We're local. We're part of the community.
For more information, visit them on the web at tbfirm.com or give them a call at 630-526-4242. It's the time of the year where storms and inclement weather can pop up unexpectedly. If you have a generator powered by a small engine, keep it running like a top. Don't do the tune-up yourself. Let Ames Small Engine Repair at 674 Laurel Street in Elgin handle your generator. Ames can do oil changes, spark plugs, and make all the necessary adjustments. From simple tune-ups to major repairs, Ames Small Engine can do it all. Don't forget, it's not too early to think about a lawnmower tune-up. Call 847-742-8750.
As the Elgin Police Department continues to participate in the Distracted Driving campaign, they wanted to share some tips from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website regarding safe driving. If you are expecting a text or need to send one, pull over and park your car in a safe location. Once you are safely off the road and parked, it's safe to text. Designate your passenger as your designated texter. Allow them to access your phone to respond to calls or messages. Do not engage in social media scrolling or messaging while driving. Are you struggling not to text and drive? Activate your phone's Do Not Disturb feature or put your cell phone in the trunk, the glove box, or the back seat of your vehicle until you arrive at your destination. Remember, the Elgin Police are conducting directed patrols to enforce distracted driving violations. Just drive and stay safe. A message from our friends at the Elgin Police Department and your friends here at WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Oh no, I just hit that post and my car's got a dent.
Uh-oh, better get Mako.
Oh yeah? Where are they?
Mako is America's body shop. They're the world's largest provider of paint and collision services. They're located at 212 Western Avenue in Carpentersville, across from Spring Hill Mall. I've used them. Check out my car.
Wow, looking good.
Everything was so easy and affordable. Hummer and staff were super friendly and really knew their stuff.
I'm going to call them now.
Mention WRMN 1410 at the Carpentersville Mako and receive 10% off today.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch, WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. We like to bring friends. We like to bring voices. WRMN is the voice of the Valley. But we like to change the voices in the Valley. Let me explain a little bit about that. We bring on subject matter experts. We bring on people to drive the conversation, movers and shakers, people that have their finger on the pulse of the community and their hands on the levers. And we like to reach them out and make sure that they've got the same voice that you've got. Let's bring them all together. Today, we've got a very special guest. We are honored and welcome to bring in State Representative Anna Muller, who has served the 43rd District since 2014, known for her dedication to issues like reproductive rights, environmental protection, and health care access. Representative Muller has recently passed a significant bill to prevent discrimination based on reproductive health choices. In addition to her legislative work, Anna chairs the Human Services Committee and serves on various other committees focusing on improving services, vulnerable populations, and ensuring financial stability for Illinois families. Her career includes roles as Executive Director of the McHenry County Council of Governments and Councilwoman for the City of Elgin. We are excited to discuss her latest initiatives and her vision for the future of our community. Please join me in welcoming State Representative Anna Muller to WRMN 1410. Thank you very much for being here with me.
Thank you so much, Dennis. It's such a pleasure to be here.
I love talking to political leaders because this is a labor of love that you chose yourself. This isn't a, like, somebody twist your arm and, oh my gosh, I've got to make money, I've got to have a job somewhere. there's obviously other places to make a better living and a more relaxing living, and people that jump into the political arena make some sacrifices. They make that sacrifice of, you know what, I'm going to be the brunt, I'm going to be the face, I'm going to be the face of the paperwork. If it bothers somebody, if the paperwork bothers somebody, it's me, it's my smiling face that's going to be there. So where did you find the courage in your life to jump into public service?
Well, Dennis, you're very kind in that description. Politicians don't always get that type of introduction or recognition, but I appreciate it, and I have to say that by and large, the vast majority of the people I serve with are good people on both sides of the aisle who are doing it for the right reasons.
Good.
Because they want to help improve our communities and our state. And that was why I have chosen to go into this field as well. I think I look back at my fifth grade class in Waukegan, Illinois, when I first ran to be the class manager for our school store. That was my first elected position. And I've always been very involved in organizations, whether it was Girl Scouts or student council or student government. It's just something that I've always been very passionate about, trying to make the world a little bit better place than I found it.
That's good.
It sounds hokey, but it's kind of always what's driven me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the way I put it sometimes is one day the cliches sound hokey, and then one day the cliches make sense. Yeah. Like it's a I don't know if it's like a maturity flip or if it's something that just this aha epiphany moment, but there's a reason why the cliches are the way that they are, is that foundation for it. So, and in that political sphere, you work within I believe are a history major as well.
Yes.
So what I would like to ask you a little bit about is, how does it feel molding the clay of history? Because as a politician, and we all think about, most of the time, everybody thinks a politician, all it is just campaign. You actually have a real job, like to actually
Absolutely.
Govern.
Yes.
So how does it feel as a historian to take some of that history as it comes in, change it, and put your creativity to it, and then and knowing that there's another historian 50 years from now that's going to do that same thing?
Yeah. Well, it's such an honor, and it can be overwhelming at times to realize that the work that we're doing is going to have an impact and is changing the course of the state. When I started in public service, I never actually thought I would run for office. I was always kind of more behind the scenes as a staff person. Okay. But there was a moment where I realized that in order to have a greater voice and make a bigger contribution, I had to step up and run. And so this role doesn't come naturally to me. But I see it as such a privilege and an honor to be part of these big changes that are, coming to our state and in our communities. And I'm proud of the progress that we've made over the past several years to move Illinois forward. I hear from people all the time that they're just very proud of our state, the financial stability that we've been able to bring to Illinois over the past 6 or 7 years.
Absolutely. I think Pritzker just announced that there was a $2 billion in surplus, 2.5, I think, as far as the state goes.
Yes, we have a rainy day fund for the first time in decades.
Amazing.
We've had 9 credit upgrades showing the financial soundness of our budgets and our financial management. And I think importantly, too, is we are protecting the rights of people in our state, reproductive rights being a huge aspect of that. In light of the attacks that we've seen at the federal level, where rights have gone backwards.
Well, it almost seems like Illinois is not only protecting the rights of Illinois residents, but also protecting those rights for maybe some of the neighboring residents as well.
Absolutely.
Is that a much larger burden on our services, or is this more of a we have to do this, so this is a welcoming issue?
It does place a burden on our capacity to provide care in Illinois, because we have seen an influx of women from other states coming to get health care in Illinois. But I think we have an obligation to do that. And, I hope that at some point we can reverse the trend in other states where they are taking away access to health care for women. But in the meantime, we are here as a place where women can come when they need that care. And we just passed another thing that I'm very proud of, and you alluded to it in the introduction. We just passed major health care reform, health insurance reform, that's going to benefit tens of thousands of Illinoisans in accessing better health care and overcoming some of the obstacles that insurance companies often put in place to maximize profits. We just passed the Health Care Protection Act, which was an initiative of Governor Pritzker, and I was honored to carry this bill in the House. And it makes several substantial reforms to our health insurance industry in Illinois.
That is amazing, because that seems to be the trend now, even from the federal side, is we know that we have the highest healthcare costs globally in some statistics that are out there. Yeah. But we are supposed to have the same care as that. So if we pay the most, we should get the most, right? Is how it goes. So it does seem to be that there is a counteractive movement against that side. So we will continue after the news with Anna Moeller. We really appreciate you, State Representative, for being here with us today. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Health Care Protection Act. We will also talk a little bit about Senior Services Care Portal that's coming in as well. Listening to Out to Lunch, WRMN. We'll be right back after the news.
Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-890-5957. 800-890-5957. That's 800-890-5957.
A recent Gallup poll indicated that 38% of Americans are putting off health care because of financial concerns, the highest ever recorded. I'm Dr. Bob Martin, here to serve you every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4. Millions of Americans are seeking health advice that will not cost an arm and a leg, so I offer health tips and advice absolutely free. Listen to my show, Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4 right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM, the voice of the Valley and the home of Radio Shopping Show.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 1 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin's Summer Concerts in the Park is back with Trambuco performing this Thursday, June 6th in Lawrence Park, 100 Oakwood Boulevard in Elgin. The concert gets underway at 7 p.m. The Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce gearing up for a pair of ribbon-cutting events this week. On June 6th, the Heritage Woods will celebrate its 15th anniversary alongside an open house event. And on June 7th, it'll mark the grand opening of the America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses brand new location. 5 high school seniors are up for some congratulations. Lucio Alvala and Robin Copenny of Elgin High School, Irini Carvasas and Lucia Lopez Magalenas of Burlington Central, and Ethan Zagor from South Elgin High School, each selected to receive a $1,000 scholarship from the Elgin Chamber of Commerce and the Elgin Development Group. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles... What was that, Flo? Progressive saves you money, Jamie.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Mandatory minicamp underway for the Bears in Lake Forest. Tuesday's practice, the first of 3 in a row. Perfect attendance for all the players. This set of practices to last before full training camp starts in July.
Here comes Morrell to the plate. The relay, the slide. He scores. Cubs lead. Cubs lead, a 2-run double for Ian Happ.
Cubs radio in Tuesday's 7-6 win at Wrigley over the White Sox. Ian Happ keyed a late rally as the Cubs had to come back twice. His second double of the night drove in a pair of runs, putting the Cubs ahead in the 8th. Chris Morrell and pinch hitter Patrick Wisdom each hit 2-run homers in the 6th. Shota Imanaga charged with 5 runs, one of them earned on 7 hits over 4 1/3. White Sox starter Chris Flexen gave up 1 run on 3 hits over 5 innings. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now, and it's the perfect time to save on Father's Day gifts. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off designers he loves, like Hugo, Lacoste, and more. And 15% off skincare, fragrance, and grooming, too. Plus, shop Father's Day specials for even more great deals. Give love today at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your #1 customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our #1 customer.
Get out.
Come on out to the Country Donuts, that is, at Route 20 and Nestler Road. They're always open. Donuts are made daily using only the finest ingredients to ensure freshness. Their huge variety of donuts offers something to please everyone. Country Donuts doesn't stop at offering you the best donuts. Enjoy a delicious breakfast sandwich or stop in for lunch and try a bowl of their famous chili. Need a larger or special donut order for your office? Call 847-488-1900.
The Distance Social, your spot for great craft cocktails with meaningful conversation. Whether you're out entertaining a group or out for a memorable nightcap, The Distance Social is your spot for starting or ending the perfect evening. Located at 314 North River Street in beautiful East Dundee, Illinois. Go the distance and find your social at The Distance Social.
Welcome back, everyone, to Out to Lunch, WRMN. My name is Dennis Onar Green. Here at Out to Lunch, we like to invite you to take WRMN out to lunch with you. A few different ways to do that. First way to do that, 1410 a.m. If you're on the AM dial, 1410, go ahead and spin it around. Make sure that that needle hits right there at 1410. You can also go to WRMN1410.com. I hope you're seeing a pattern. WRMN1410.com has a couple different options. You can listen live, the audio right there. You can also click and go to the YouTube side. That's where I am right now. That's where I'm waving. Hello. What? Radio, video. It's amazing. We are in the future. Everybody thought you were going to get flying cars. Nope. Video, radio. That's what you're going to get in the future. Talking about future and changing the future is my new friend, State Representative Anna Muller. Thank you very much for being on with me today.
It's great to be here.
It is great to be here. I really appreciate you kind of letting us in under the hood, right? Is we can all speculate what's happening under the hood, but until we talk to the mechanic, we don't necessarily understand all of it. At least for my side of it. And you're kind of making a victory lap right now. At least I hope you're making a victory lap of House Bill 5395, the Healthcare Protection Act plan. And from what you've been telling me, this is amazing. We always talk about like legislation that comes in, and the legislation that comes in is maybe, oh, they're doing that again. Oh, they're changing this. We need to be happy about legislation again. And I think that's what this Healthcare Protection Act that is already passed, ready to go, ready to be implemented into the executive side of the branch. Yeah. And it's amazing. Can you talk a little bit about your victory lap?
Sure. Well, this is a victory for the state of Illinois, for residents in our state who rely on health insurance to have access to health care, which is the vast majority of us.
That's most of us, yeah. Yep. I think, what is the last statistic? I think 80% of us are insured somewhere around there, the 80 side of it. There's still 20% that can't seem to find something, whether it's the Affordable Care Act or CARES or something like that.
Sure, which we are always trying to work at, because everyone should have access to health care. But yeah, so we just passed the final version of the Healthcare Protection Act a couple weeks ago in the General Assembly. The governor is going to sign it this summer. This was an initiative of Governor Pritzker. And basically it does some fundamental things to reform health insurance and make sure that people have access to the care that they need and that their doctors prescribe. The first thing it does is it bans a practice called step therapy. This is a practice that insurance companies use to keep their costs down, but can ultimately be very harmful to patients. It requires, I'll give you an example. Yeah. Let's say you go to your doctor and you have a sore shoulder, and you need something to you need to fix that shoulder. Mm-hmm. Your doctor examines you, performs diagnostics, determines that you need surgery. Mm-hmm. The insurance company might come back and say, surgery is going to be expensive. Let's do physical therapy for 6 months and see how that goes before we're going to authorize your surgery.
Now, is that a normal practice where when a doctor turns around and says, this is what I need for my patient, the insurance company then turns around and says, no, we know better.
Yes.
We know better. This
is a very common practice.
Does this kind of let them not say no as many times?
This is a way to, the insurance companies have many processes in place to maximize their profits and keep their costs down.
And you said step therapy is one of them. So I have a hurt shoulder. The doctor has said, I need surgery. What does the insurance company then do after that?
The insurance company could come back and say, we're not going to pay for the surgery. We're not going to authorize the surgery. We're going to have you do physical therapy and show that you fail on the physical therapy, that it's actually not working for you before we will authorize the surgery. Or let's say you have asthma and you go to your doctor, you need to get on some type of asthma medication. Again, the insurance company might come back and say, we want you to start out using this type of medication first, the cheapest form of medication. And if it doesn't work for you, if you fail on that medication, then you can use the medication that your doctor knows will actually work for you.
The ER calls up the insurance company and says, we have a broken femur right here in ER. And the insurance company comes in and says, have you tried a Band-Aid first?
Essentially.
It said, have you tried Band-Aids first? Okay, well, Band-Aids didn't work. Did you try Tylenol and Band-Aid?
Right.
And so it's the step there. Now, obviously, yes, you want to solve a problem with the least, you know what I mean? You're not out there.
We don't want to have overprescribing therapies or tests, et cetera.
But that's a determination from the doctor.
Right.
Exactly. It necessarily is from the insurance company.
And in crafting this legislation and traveling the state talking about this legislation, we heard from so many doctors who, this is they're trained to provide medical care and to understand what therapies and treatments are best for a patient. You could see the frustration and exhaustion in their faces talking about having to battle insurance companies to provide the care that they know is best for their patients. And we want to put that power back into the hands of our doctors and nurses and hospitals and the professionals who know how to treat patients, and out of the hands of insurance company bureaucrats whose sole purpose is to maximize profits for their companies. We need insurance companies. Our health insurance, our health system relies on insurance companies being there to cover and provide access to care. But we need to provide a balance so that people are accessing the care that they need, and we're not setting up a system that is only there to maximize profits. The other reforms that the bill provides for is that when you are looking to sign up for a plan, that the insurance companies are truthful and up to date on the doctors and hospitals and specialists that are available through those plans.
Okay.
Network adequacy requirements, so that you're not lured in to purchasing a plan only to find out that half of the doctors, hospitals, or specialists are not actually available to you.
Keep your provider, right? Keep your same doctor. That's what they always plan.
Right.
But then you turn around and say, oh, yeah, keep your same doctor, but only for a month. Keep your same doctor, but you have to make sure that you see him only on Tuesdays. Like there's a whole stipulation for it.
Absolutely.
And does this kind of clean that confusion up?
It does. It requires the insurance companies every 90 days to audit their networks and confirm that the doctors and hospitals in their networks are still accepting patients.
Oh, great.
And that they're within a reasonable distance, from where their patients are located, so that people don't have to drive hundreds of miles to see
because you
doctors.
represent an area of Illinois that is mixed between the rural area and the downtown, I guess, cityscape aspect of it.
Right.
So this area here in the 43rd is kind of mixed between that. So was that something that you wanted to make sure was in there when you had the House sponsor? Was because if they no longer have the provider there in that smaller town, they now have to drive 20, 30, an hour away to finally get there.
Sure. And so, of course, I have to, I take into consideration how this affects my district, but we're making this law affects the entire state of Illinois. And we have some very rural counties in southern Illinois where you may have to drive 200 miles to see a specialist, depending on what your needs are. And so we have, crafting the legislation with that in mind, making sure that our rural areas are protected as well, was part of this. And then finally, another big reform is, the Department of Insurance now will have the authority to review rate increases and premium increases and make sure that they're based on actuarially sound data, not, again, just a way to maximize profits.
Because increases have been going up more than inflation on that same side.
Absolutely.
I mean, of the two things, I think in the last, I think going back through my Pew research, right? And you have my own Rolodex.
Yeah.
I think the last thing was that housing and medication, I think, or medical,
Yes.
just in general, with education following, those were the three things that have gone up exponentially
Yes.
higher than inflation or anything else.
Yes.
So you're saying with this bill, there is now a review board before they're able to actually tick that up?
Absolutely, yes. The Department of Insurance, which
okay.
which already regulates these plans, and the plans were already required to send their premium increases to the department, but now the department has the authority to reject an increase that is not based on actuarially sound data or information. And conversely, we've had insurance companies that charge too little and end up going bankrupt. And that's not good for consumers either, because they've been paying into a policy and only to find out that the company no longer is solvent and won't pay for any claims. The Department of Insurance would have the ability to review those rates as well to make sure that that these are financially sound, companies, and that they're providing, there's truth in protecting consumers who are buying into these plans, and that consumers are protected.
Absolutely, because you don't want all of a sudden your insurance company to pull the rug out from under you and be like, "Oh, sorry, we don't exist anymore."
Right.
Like nobody's going to stick around and keep answering the phone in an empty office.
Right.
And a lot of times when smaller businesses like that go under, it's fast.
Right.
It's we're struggling. Oh, now we're gone.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a plan or a place to be able to hand those people to, now they're dealing with having to go back in. Oh, is this a precondition? Is that
Exactly.
aspect of it there?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your work outside of the chamber. You've done a few things here in Elgin. Like even recently, you got your hands a little bit dirty in the river.
Yes, we held our 9th annual Fox River cleanup event. We've been doing that since I took office in 2014. And it's a way to appreciate our Fox River, get volunteers involved. There's a great organization that's run by a great guy, Gary Swick. He runs Friends of the Fox. And we work with his organization to get out there and just pick up garbage and teach people about why the Fox River is so important to our ecosystem and to our communities.
I want to talk a little bit about your idea of ecological conservatism, of like, what do we need to do? How much of that is conserving versus restoration?
Yeah.
Because there's kind of a misconception for people where they turn around and they say, well, we want a healthy environment. We want to protect the environment. We want to go, well, are we protecting the environment that we have right now? Are we protecting an environment that we once had? Or are we trying to improve it?
Yeah.
Where in your beliefs is that distinguishing trait between conserving an area of what's already there and kind of just making it healthier versus full-on restoration back to before there was a human interaction?
Sure. Well, first off, I think we've made huge progress in restoring and improving our environment over the past 50 years with the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, the establishment of the U.S. EPA, the Illinois EPA. Our environment is a lot healthier than it used to be. You know, when rivers and lakes were starting on fire because of the pollution.
My gosh, looking at you, Cleveland.
Well, and I grew up in Waukegan, Illinois, which had the dirtiest harbor in the United States at one point because of the PCBs and asbestos and all of the industrial waste that was dumped into Lake Michigan when Waukegan was a very industrial city. And, you know, we have millions of people drinking water out of that lake. You know, and the Fox River has was not as dramatic, but had a similar history where, you know, we used rivers and lakes as dumping grounds for for a long time during the industrial age when we didn't know better and when, we didn't have the science and technology to understand the impacts that we were making.
Or the testing. That's the
Testing.
other side too, is if you pull it up, it looks clean, it looks ready to go for drinking. It doesn't matter what microchemicals or anything else might be in there.
And we didn't understand like the relationship between, health problems like cancer and chronic disease and industrial pollutants. We understand that now.
Yeah.
And so growing up in Waukegan and understanding that history has informed me as a lawmaker and as someone involved in my community that it's very important that we protect and maintain our waterways and our environment, not just because it's good for ecology and for nature. It's good for us. 800,000 people drink the water from the Fox River. We have to make sure that we're not allowing contaminants to get into the river, because ultimately that affects our health. In the last couple of years, I've introduced bills that would regulate PFAS chemicals, which are these forever chemicals that were invented by 3M in Minnesota. They're flame retardant chemicals, they're nonstick chemicals, and recently we have discovered that they can have an impact on human health, whether it's cancer rates or reproductive problems, infertility.
Endocrine disruptors.
Exactly. So I introduced a bill that would ban the sale of products containing PFAS by 2035. And I've also introduced legislation that would require industry to acknowledge and report any products that they sell in Illinois that contain PFAS chemicals. Both bills are still in the process. As you can imagine, we've had a lot of pushback from industry on these bills.
As you do, yeah.
And we want to work with industry, but we want to protect our residents and make sure that we're not creating an unhealthy environment. So we'll continue to work on that. But again, it's important for human health and human prosperity that we make sure that we live in a healthy and clean environment. And I think as a state, we have a role in making sure that we
absolutely
have those regulations in place.
Well, and even then in, I think it's out west. I think it's Utah or Nevada. There is actual legislation for Gen Z that is actually suing the government because of the pursuit of life and liberty and happiness, and the letting pollutants run rampant denies us or young generations a healthy future as it goes. You've had some success here and there, kind of straddling that line between environmental protection and also industry growth. Like you said, you don't want to stunt industry growth as it goes. What have you found in your conversations to be kind of that pulling kind of thing together? Yes, we need environmental. Yes, we need industry. But what is that common denominator that's there for those two sides?
Well, I think one is I think to be effective and to try and to get things done, essentially, is you have to be open to conversation and you have to be open to listening to all sides of an issue. Even knowing that you're probably not going to agree or there are going to be fundamental differences, you have to be willing to sit down and bring both sides to the table and have those conversations and work things out. And I think reasonable people do that. And we have advocates on both sides in Springfield who represent the manufacturers and the business community, and those who represent the environmental side, who they're smart, they're willing to compromise, they're willing to work together, and we've seen success. We just had a bill pass last week that regulates carbon capture in Illinois. We have ADM is one company that is working in this area. We have other companies where they want to be able to take CO2 and capture it underground as part of their processes, manufacturing processes. Environmental advocates had concerns about that and how the long-term impact would be on the environment. I was a little bit a part of the negotiation. I had a bill that would create a moratorium around CO2 pipelines in the state until we have better regulations in place and understand the safety impacts of those types of pipelines. And that was made part of the legislation that passed. But it was a compromise bill where the environmental community and the business community came together and worked it out. And now we have legislation in place that regulates this. So I think, when people are willing to listen and compromise, we can get things done. Compromise sometimes has a negative connotation, but we live in a very diverse state with diverse interests. And I think at the end of the day, that's the only way we're ever going to really accomplish things that are substantive and have an impact.
And I think that is a great message of hope as well, because we talk about, at least in my profession, we talk a lot about the discourse between the two-party system or the 2.5-party system, or however we want to do it. Ben and I are shooting for 4 parties in 2040. We'll see. We'll see if we can get it. We'll see what happens. But we hear that division. We hear all of this. We hear the refusal of compromise.
Yeah.
Like this is where I think we've really had a drastic change. It's no longer, look, I don't agree with the percentage, right? If you have a 15% tax and I have a 30% tax, and we're going to fight, like nobody's going to blows about 15 percentage points on either side. But for some reason, we've internalized our percentage points. We've internalized nope, this is it, and everything is a red line.
Yeah.
And I think what you're starting to elaborate on a little bit and demonstrate here, especially with House Bill 5395 with the Healthcare Protection Act, you said that was a bipartisan side of it too.
Yeah.
And then you're talking with, it's not just compromising with the people on the other side of the aisle. It's also compromising with the different factions of citizens that everyone is. And I think that's where you're really starting to show some hope with you and your colleagues down in Springfield of that compromise, of the, look, by all means, we can go on the weekends, we can spend social media calling each other names if you want to on the weekends. But when we come into chamber, we have to come in and get something done because people brought us here to do that.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great way of describing it. And that's why, you read a lot and you hear a lot about Washington and what's going on in Washington. And it's been sad to see the level of gridlock and just nothing getting done in Washington because both sides are just so entrenched and there's very little ability to find agreement or compromise on anything. At the state level, we're in this. We've been able to transcend that, and I think we're in a good place because so much now is being left to the states because of federal inaction.
Yeah,
has been left to the states to solve the pressing problems that are facing our communities today, and for that reason, I feel very lucky to be in a situation where I can help, make Illinois the best place, the best state in the country, because so much is falling to the state to do that. And I wish Washington were more productive. I wish we could solve the big problems at the federal level. Some things need to be solved at the federal level. Some things the states can't just take on our own. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of what we've been able to do in Illinois, and I'm proud that we do have robust discussions and debates, but 95% of the bills that we pass in Springfield are bipartisan.
Wonderful.
Where you have Republicans and Democrats coming together and voting on the issues. Not everything, but the vast majority of bills are. And some of my good friends, some of my better friends in Springfield are Republicans, and I appreciate. Again, as you said, I don't necessarily agree with most of their ideology, but we respect each other as humans, as individuals, as professionals, and we recognize that they have a certain type of constituency that they represent. I have a constituency that I represent, and there's an understanding there, and we can work together. So
good faith and respect, I think is what we need to bring back. And I really appreciate what you all are doing down there. Now, we may not all agree with everything that we all say, but as long as we come in with good intentions and respect, and in that side, as long as we're not coming in a fake type of way or with the ability of I'm just going to be a stone in everybody's shoe.
Right.
That's a whole different mindset than servitude. Absolutely. And I think it's kind of what we're seeing out there. State Representative Anna Moeller, where can people find you?
Well, I have an office right here in downtown Elgin.
Oh, wonderful. Just down the street, too, right?
164 Division Street, Suite 102. And you can also find me on Facebook, State Representative Anna Moeller, 43rd District. You can contact me via email, staterepmoeller@gmail.com. We try to get out in the community. We'll be at the farmers market that starts up this Friday.
And you were just at the library as well.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be at the, there is a Spanish event, I believe, a Spanish-speaking event that you're going to at the library as well. We were just talking to Las Mañanitas about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great. So if we can't find you at your office, you're probably at the library or down in Springfield.
Somewhere in the community. But we're there, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for being here with me.
Thank you. This has been wonderful.
Awesome. That is State Representative Anna Moeller. She represents the 43rd District here in Illinois. I hope you enjoyed that interview. If you missed anything about it, don't forget you can go on to the YouTube side of it and watch it right now. It's live right now. This thing that you're doing. WRMN 1410 is the place that you can go. WRMN Radio on the YouTube side. You're listening to Out to Lunch. We'll be right back with more WRMN after this.
Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain, until one day the prescriptions weren't enough to get rid of Bill's pain. Then one day Bill found someone to help him get rid of the pain with illegal drugs he didn't need a prescription for. Fast forward to today. Bill lost his job and his family. The only thing he does have is his drug dealer. If you know Bill's story and you don't want to end up like Bill, call the Detox and Treatment Helpline right now to get away and get treatment. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. Call right now. Help is standing by. 800-694-1127.
Looking to get your fingers on some delicious grub? Look no further than Sticky Fingers in Carpentersville. Family owned and operated, Sticky Fingers specializes in chicken, fish, and shrimp, which you can choose to have dusted with flavor or doused in the sauce of your choice. Sticky Fingers strives to provide flavorful food with fresh, locally sourced ingredients. Sticky Fingers personally invites you to stop by and try one of their scrumptious dishes today.
For exceptional home-cooked meals, visit the longest family-owned restaurant in Elgin. Paul's Family Restaurant at Lawrence and McLean takes pride in their fresh daily specials like steaks, fish, pasta, soups, and more. Paul's fresh buttermilk pancakes and breakfast skillets are phenomenal. As you walk in, you can't help but notice owner Elaine's wonderful eye for detail. The toughest decision you'll have to make is what size leftover box to take home. Call 847-695-8687.
WRMN has been serving Elgin and the Fox Valley for 75 years, featuring a combination of local news, information, and entertainment in the mornings, followed by the radio shopping show for 5 hours each weekday. The first shift with Marky B starts your morning at 6 a.m., and it's always fun when Larry Jones is a part of the show.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
Can't haze, you'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
And then there'll be a lot of people that come out of the
and
say that I also hazed
I
him.
remember when Mark hazed me. I've been hazed.
Mark hazed me back in 2012.
2012. I remember in Memphis one time. He was really mean to me.
It's first shift fun and information in the morning, combined with the radio shopping show to save you money. And you get it right here on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN 1410 Radio on Facebook, and WRMN1410.com.
How many times have you heard about or driven past the Volo Auto Museum and still haven't checked it out? They have over 200,000 square feet of heated showrooms filled with countless collections of the most amazing mechanical marvels in the world. From incredible collector cars, movie cars, trains, boats, and planes, to a Disney gallery, dinosaurs, vintage arcades, kiddie rides, and a medieval torture exhibit, plus the Titanic Museum. They're open every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit volofun.com.
For local information and fun times in the mornings, listen to Marky B and Larry Jones on the first shift.
Maybe we need to get a radio intern in to help you.
Maybe so.
Somebody that you won't have to pay and you can treat them tough.
I can haze them.
You can't haze, you'll get fired. Remember that guy from Northwestern?
Yeah.
Gone.
Did he really do it?
You don't have to really do it. If somebody says you did,
yeah,
good enough. Maybe I'm going to accuse you of hazing me. I don't have to prove it.
It's the first shift, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on WRMN.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch with WRMN. My name is Dennis Onar Green. I'm going to be finishing out the rest of the hour with you. Right now, it hit 40 after the hour. To let you know that this is a live program. This is a live program that does take callers. I try not to take callers during the interview so much. We had some great topics that we were talking about here, and a lot of it, by all means, you want to interrupt my flow, sure, I can handle it. But sometimes you can't get it with the interview. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did miss any pieces of that, remember the amazing Benjamin Boquest. He cuts them up and puts them on the YouTube, ready to go. So you'll find State Representative Anna Muller's interview right there. And to talk a little bit about what he's been doing is said person, Benjamin Boquest. Hello, sir.
How goes? That was an amazing interview. That made me feel very happy to live in America and have the local and just be close to the local government and
yeah. What a great dose of hopium, right? We just got a big old dose of it because, like we'd started with the interview, is these people that run, or the people that we assume run, we assume these people in politics are servants. They're servants for us. They get beat up. They get the brunt of it. I think even locally more so. Because, like, look at it this way. If I had one person in my neighborhood that I could go to and complain about everything in my neighborhood, yeah, I'm going to keep going to that person. And now, because, I mean, right now, right, something bad happens to you, Ben. Who do you go? There's no complaint department, right? You go to your elected official. That's the life complaint department. So you would assume that these people come in with some sort of servitude attitude for everything, regardless of what we see of the 10% on the national side of it.
Yes, yeah, it's even in the job title, public service.
Public service. But that's it, is the conversation side of it. So that's what we want to do. We want to have more conversations with our reps that are there. Oh, you know what? We may reach out to our buddy Dan Johnson and see if we can get some more, who is Dan Johnson, Illinois lobbyist, has a podcast called what? Improving Our Laws, I think is what he did.
Yes.
Good stuff. Yes. Dan Johnson, he's an Illinois lobbyist. I'll see if I can bring him over here. I don't think he wants to drive all the way out from Evanston like we do.
We got the internet.
We do have the internet. And speaking of that internet and speaking of that YouTube where you're going to post that interview, we had a couple of comments here on the YouTube side of it. Denise comes in with Gail Borden Library has a reading program that they read so many minutes long as they go along, and they can win pool passes. My goodness, my kids are all about the pool. Wow. They're going to go over to the festival park and play on the that splash pad. That's where they like to go. Is go over there. Yeah. So they're bringing swimsuits and everything else to the station this week since they're off for school. So I'll talk about the Gail Borden Library. That's neat as a reading program. So yeah, well, a lot of times what we'll do, well, I guess not a lot of times. Well, sometimes what we'll do is we'll actually find two books that are the same, and we'll read them together so that she can have it right there in her hand and go. And now that she's got a nice Kindle, Leah didn't want her Kindles anymore, so we formatted it so that the little miss could read some of it. So now I can have digital paper, she can have digital paper, and we can read the same book together. So what I've got to do now that she's read it already, I've got to go and read the first 4 books of the Magic Treehouse. I mean, I think all of them in total, I think it's like maybe like a 150 pages or so for every one of them. So I mean, it'll take me an afternoon to knock it out, but for her, it's great. It takes her, I mean, the better part, like I said, of 4 weeks to finish off those books.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard of this series before, but it sounds like a good early learning thing. And yeah, it's like kids always like to do what their parents do. So
what did you read?
Kindle, that's awesome.
What did you read as a kid? What was your favorite book series?
Man, growing up, I got The Lord of the Rings.
Did you do the Goosebumps or anything like that?
Stuff. Oh, yeah, Goosebumps. Like when I was, really the first one I remember was, probably Goosebumps, Berenstain Bears, all that. That's like the very early stuff. But, just whatever was on Scholastic. I remember, how about Captain Underpants? I was more of that kind of kid. I was like, imaginative. When the Scholastic bus came around, I was with everybody else who was like trying to convince their parents to let them get the doorbell thing, all the fun toys that came in the Scholastic catalogs. But yeah, just early reading. I loved all the just normal. The normal stuff that would come along.
I bring it up because I recorded Las Mañanitas the hour before we came on while Brian Kilmeade was still on. We recorded Las Mañanitas, and they had in a representative from the Gail Borden Library. And what's cool about the Gail Borden Library is they have multiple bilingual librarians. And that's the cool part about it. Is just sometimes you go to a place and you're like, hey, did somebody speak Spanish here? And it's like one guy and it's just them. And they may not be a fluent speaker. It just may be the guy who just knows Spanish. And what's great about this area here in Elgin and the Gail Borden Library is they actually have multiple librarians that speak Spanish, and they even have multiple sections in the library that are tailored to the Spanish language. So it's really neat how the library has kind of changed as the community changes. It's a really neat area. But I love books. I love reading as much as I love talking as well. I think the only thing I don't like is the physical act of writing. I don't like it. I don't like waving my hand around and getting my thoughts onto a piece of paper. Voice to text for me, please.
I think I'd rather write than read.
Really? If I put you in a room and said you have to be in this room doing something for the next 4 hours, and it would be either writing or reading, which one would you do?
Well, yeah, I guess reading, because I couldn't do that for too long, 4 hours. I mean, yeah, I could write something for 4 hours.
You could write something for 4 hours. I believe in you.
Yeah, it would have to be at that point. It would just be monotonous textbook stuff. I feel like
that's just whatever's coming
in the dictionary.
Yeah. Whatever you're thinking about, it wouldn't actually be anything coherent. It's just,
yeah.
Of course, it'd be a half hour of just you just putting scribbles on another piece of paper,
writing about writing. Yeah,
writing about writing.
Meme.
Oh, it's so meta. Oh, maybe that's how Banksy does it. Anyway, let's go and take a break, Ben. We'll come right back after this. Shout out to Dino Delaley. Hops in on the YouTube side of it. Says, very informative. I love when our elected officials show up. It's just candidly respond to or speak on various topics. We welcome everyone the same. Absolutely. This is a place for voices. Can't be the voice of the valley and claim free speech if you stifle other people's contributions. Out to lunch. WRMN. We'll be right back after these.
Everyone has a community to lean on. A neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. You've talked with your kids and shared clear expectations, but you're not with them every minute. Your community members, friends and relatives, teachers and coaches, faith leaders, and other important adults in your kids' lives can be your eyes, ears, and a supportive influence when you're not around, reinforcing your messages with your kids and alerting you to warning signs of underage drinking or other substance use. So talk with your kids about these issues and involve the members of your community to help keep your kids safe, because when you talk, they hear you.
Clocking out? Drive home with the Drive Time Deal with Matt McNeil on WRMN 1410 AM every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. I bring you the hottest deals in town, the most intriguing stories, and the tracks that take the edge off rush hour. Tune in on 1410 AM. Catch us on YouTube Live at WRMN Radio or stream through our app. I've got the wheel to steer your evening right. WRMN 1410 AM, your home of radio shopping and the soundtrack to your commute.
Rise and shine, Fox Valley listeners. It's time to kickstart your day with First Shift with Marky B on WRMN 1410 AM. From 6 to 9 a.m., join the chatter that gets you clued in with the latest buzz around town. Don't just sip on your coffee. Let Marky B brew your morning with the perfect mix of news, views, and moves. Dial us in or live stream at WRMN1410.com and make your mornings a whole lot brighter. WRMN 1410 AM. We're the voice of the Valley, and we're here to talk.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. And the money you've paid, it goes right into the hands of criminals and may support child labor, drugs, and even gangs. Smells like big crime to me. So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again. And remember, if you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart, buy smart. Go for real. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org. This message is brought to you by the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Keep informed with everything that's going on with the Radio Shopping Show by joining our VIP text club today. All you have to do is text the message WRMN 1410 to the number 94253 and you're in. You'll receive timely information about shopping show specials instantaneously as they happen. Message and data rates may apply. The voice of the Valley and the home of the Radio Shopping Show, we are WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Taqueria Las Cumbres, Crystal Lake's authentic Mexican restaurant on Grant Street, is open for carryout. For over 15 years, Taqueria Las Cumbres has been serving up all of your favorite Mexican dishes and doing it better than the rest. Recently voted the best in McHenry County. Stop in and carry out the authentic taste of Mexico and see for yourself. Support local for lunch and dinner today and place an order from Taqueria Las Cumbres. Call 815-455-8200 for Taqueria Las Cumbres of downtown Crystal Lake.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch, final segment. I don't think I could even fit in another commercial break. I got to get that hard time because here at WRMN, we are going to start doing some information. News and information at the top and bottom. Marky B and I are working on some of that. Benjamin is going to be putting some things together. I think what we're going to end up doing, Ben, is we're going to have a couple featurettes where the three of us are going to start reading some news and some other things that are out there. So we'll get a bunch of these little 2-minute guys where throughout the day, the 3 of us, 4 of us, 8 of us are all going to cut some of these updates. And then that way, at the bottom of the hour, we've got news and information at the top and bottom. So maybe you'll get some national news at the top and then maybe some local news at the bottom, or an insight, or our buddy Rick Smith puts together a union minute as well, highlighting this moment in labor history. So there's a few things like that. So we're gonna hopefully get some news and news and information, maybe as you say, infotainment. News and infotainment at the top and bottom of the hour.
Love it. Yeah, I think it'll be a good opportunity to get the best parts of the radio out there. We'll have all the good guests and the events, the local events that they're representing, and just kind of keep everybody informed on what's happening, as you said, locally and nationally. So that's great. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it's great. We'll figure out the logistics of it, but I think with all the stuff that like News Nation provides us every day and some of the other things that we've got here and there, I think we could absolutely put together a pretty good 2-minute guy and maybe stack them together, something like that. Like always, listener, if you like some of the things that we do, you don't like some of the things that we do, go ahead and reach out, info@WRMN1410.com. That is something that goes right to the top. Nobody else sees it, so if you do want to complain about Ben or you want to give a praise to our news department, which is also Ben, you can go ahead and send us a little note. I got a few of them. Did you hear the note that I read earlier? Man, we got a few of those from Tuesday's show when we did the misconception side of it.
Oh, I think I heard one of them.
Yeah, we had Mary from Dundee had written in about knuckle cracking. You hear that about the knuckle cracking for things? It's really just air bubbles. It's nothing with it's nothing with arthritis or anything like that. It is all just air bubbles inside your gas bubbles inside your stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No harm. I mean, I would maybe still consult a doctor. Isn't that the thing? Like, some people just don't need to crack their knuckles.
Yeah, but I mean, you get stiff. Like for me, if I don't crack something or pop it, it gets too stiff. Like I kind of like force my way through the pop, and then my knees and everything. My knees just pop just standing up, man.
Oh yeah, once you're the age over 30, that just starts happening. For me, that would happen in high school. I don't know what's wrong with my knees. But yeah.
That was the joke I had, Ben. Was do you know? I can tell you're over the age of 35 when I ask you what's your favorite knee. Is the fact that you have a favorite knee. That's how I can tell.
Right. Yeah, I'm a right knee guy.
Somebody else came in. Jeff from St. Charles said the notion that we only utilize 10% of our brains has always perplexed me. I recently discovered that neuroscientists have debunked the myth, proving that nearly every part of our brain is active almost all the time. And he even put in, it's remarkable how such misconceptions perpetuate over time. My goodness, this guy's more well-spoken than I am. But Jeff from St. Charles, absolutely. Because like a lot of people talk about that. Oh, if we could only use 100% of our brain, I can levitate things. Out to lunch. We'll be back tomorrow.
Like our current mental health crisis. Here's Lori Baker, President and CEO of AID.
I think most people, when they see young children thinking about suicide at the ages of 5 and 6 and 7, I mean, that's shocking to me that children even know that they want to harm themselves somehow. I know it's difficult. I definitely feel the pinch. We all feel the pinch at the gas pump, at the grocery store, right, in our rents, but I think most people could handle 27 cents a day to help kids and seniors and people